residents of your city, and what sort of ordinances might you desire to go with the new law?
Well, it's certainly going to create some new challenges for us. I think it will also create some new opportunities for us. It will mean some challenges. I think, we'll probably have some adjustments to make, with law enforcement. We're also going to have some adjustments to make as far as planning and zoning goes to accommodate that. But like I said, it's also going to provide some opportunities for us because it'll provide a tax revenue that we've not had in the past because we're primarily a bedroom community and we don't have much business now. It would probably add to our business base that we do have in town. As to whether or not we have it, whatever comes, we'll deal with it the best that we can. And we'll make the most of it, and we want to maximize the opportunities.
Thank you. Mr. Russell?
Well, if Saline County would happen to go wet, I don't know how much of an impact that would have. In Bauxite, we don't have any really retail outlets, but it definitely would create maybe a challenge for the law enforcement and for a piece of the city. We'd have to make sure that we have everything keeps under control from the alcohol situation and stay ahead of any problems that we might have in our community. So, but as far as that goes, personally, I hope that wouldn't happen. But that's just my opinion.
All right, thank you. And we'll go to Bryant. Mr. Cox, I believe you're first up in this question.
If Saline County would go wet, again, that would be at the choice of the citizens of the county. I would look for the direction at the city council as well as the police department on what type of policies and rules that we would need to put in as far as ordinances, as well as talk with our planning director and see what other issues we may face there as well. And that's the way that we would handle that. It would bring in challenges, I'm sure. But again, Bryant currently has several facilities or restaurants that do serve alcohol. So, again, I think it's just something that we'll have to just control. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Dabbs.
Anytime there's changes in the community like Bryant, you have to reflect, how's this going to affect our quality of life? How's this decision going to affect us 20 years down the road? And this is a discussion that we've actually had in the city of Bryant over the last 4 years with the anticipation of this might happen. And we looked at our ordinances in regards to how far a liquor store would have to be from businesses. And it's hard to throw a rock in the city of Bryant and not hit a school, a church, or a neighborhood. So Bryant residents can have confidence that we are already set up with some of our ordinances to protect our quality of life if this measure was to pass on the ballot. We also need to look at, we need to continue using the DWI task force grant. Our police department has received that grant multiple years in a row, and they take full advantage of it and really already police our city as far as the law allows them to in regards to DWI task force. And people know not to drive through here intoxicated. They're probably going to get pulled over. Our guys are really, our police officers are really good about that. And we just need to create a culture of family and positive growth, and that's what we need to focus on if this is to pass, family and positive growth.
Thank you. Mr. Henley?
I believe if the voters choose to pass this issue with the wet issue, that our police department's already prepared to handle this. They do a great job already. We're right there close to Little Rock. We have to deal with the issues of people driving through here that are intoxicated. I believe that they will no doubt won't miss a step when it comes to having to deal with the issue here in Bryant. Hopefully on the positive side, it will bring in some extra revenue that we'll be able to do some more streets and connectivity with and be able to actually use that money for a good source or something good here to do the parks and use that as the extra income. Thank you.
Thank you. And I believe we're back with Jamie Watson-Burton, I believe.
If the voters decide to pass that Saline County is wet, it'll probably make a pretty big impact on Haskell. I don't think that our law enforcement is ready for that step. We're definitely gonna have to beef that up a little bit and get ahead of the game as far as controlling the issues that come with having a liquor store in your area. The positive part about that is it is gonna create some tax revenue, it is gonna put some money back into our system, and whether everybody in our community wants it or not wants it, it's probably going to be one of those things that happens whether it's this election or whether it's 4 years from now. That's something that's probably going to be coming soon. So we've got to be ready for it. We need to talk to the cities that are around us and the counties that are already wet to find out about the ordinances that they have, to find out what they do to control those things, to make sure that we can keep them under control in our city and keep the people off the roads the best we can from driving after they've been drinking. So if they're there in our hometown and they're close enough, then that may eliminate part of that problem, but we've definitely got to get ahead of the game on that.
Thank you. And last for this question, Janie Lyman.
Well, it would certainly be something new for the city of Haskell to have a liquor store there. I believe that if people are going to consume, they're going to go wherever they have it available. On the other side, there is the matter of revenue coming into the city from those tax dollars. I feel like that our police department currently, they're able to arrest people that have been drinking. They would have to step that up. We do have regulations in the city, zoning regulations of where things can be situated and other things. If that does pass, then that would, the city council would have to meet with the mayor, and there would have to be a new ordinance for us to meet the needs of that. I suppose if they bought it in Haskell, maybe they lived in Haskell, they'd just go home and not be out there.
All right, thank you. And now we've reached the stage of the debate where we'll have our final comments, our closing comments, the last chance to make a pitch to the voters of your city. So, again, 2 minutes. Thank you for reminding me.
My name is Mike Kemp. I'm the mayor of the city of Shannon Hills, and I want to be mayor for at least one more term. And, I really like the beach. I really like the beach. But I love our little town. I love our little town. It makes my heart sing whenever I drive by our park, our new park, and I see all the families and their kids out there. And when I see somebody just go out there with their lunch and sit at one of the picnic tables and have their lunch, it just makes my heart sing. And it makes my eyes misty whenever I start thinking about all the things that families are going to be doing down in our new park when we complete phase 2 with a new stage and pavilion, when we have our jogging track on down below it down there, when we have more sidewalks in town, whenever our roads, as you go across them, you can take a drink out of your cup of coffee and not spill it all over you. I get excited when I think about the future for our little town because, you know what, we've got some of the best people in the country in Shannon Hills. And all of y'all are welcome to join us. We've got a place for you there too. We've got some great homes that are being built right now, and I tell you what, you'll never regret it. Thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight, Jeremy and Shelley. Thank y'all for being here tonight, and thank you folks from Shannon Hills. Y'all drove the farthest. Thanks.
Thank you, Mayor. And Mr. Russell?
Now, one thing I learned in business is that you have to have a plan. You got to be organized, and as a group of people, you have to know where you're going. That's one thing. One of the first things that I would do if I was elected mayor is to go back and get all the pertinent people of the city, of the council and the chiefs, and say, just sit down and say, where are we going? And with each subject, where are we going? What are we going to do here? Where are we going? And invoke and ask for help, even in the community, because you can't just, if you're going to run a city, you just can't be haphazard about anything. You got to have a plan. You got to be organized. People have to be involved. People have to come together. It's about the people. It's about the resources. That's the greatest resource that we have in Bauxite is the people. We have some wonderful people there in Bauxite. I've been out talking to to the people, and some wonderful, some great ideas, and some things that they would like to see happen in the city. And I think we can make that happen. I think we can make that happen. We have a wonderful school. We need to build a relationship again with the school. I worked for the school for about 13 years, and it seems like the school and the town have gone separate. They've gone their own ways. So there's been something that's happened that has caused dissension. But we got to bring that back together. I mean, I was talking to the superintendent over at Bauxite, and he said where he came from, the school was one of the most important things that people rallied around. And I think Bauxite we need to have that. We need to have that when things are happening in the school, people are getting involved, because that then brings the youth back into the situation, into the city government, where they have a say.
Thank you. Mayor Downs, you're right on top of things. You're next.
My request for all of you here tonight is just for a moment, put aside the non-productive tactics of some in the vein of political self-interest and ask yourself, has the city improved? Under my leadership, has the city's interest and your interest been the focus of my administration's efforts and achievements? From your responses in 2 years' worth of community surveys and looking at the numerous awards the city has recently won in the areas of quality of life, technology advancements, beautification, an outstanding number of grants that will carry out your vision for Bryant's future, the answer is crystal clear. My administration has been focused on the city's interest and the business of our progress as a community. Where are we going from this point? Look at the great progress we have made with your support over the past 4 years. One could conclude that our current path is the correct path, the positive path, a path that perpetuates your dreams for Bryant's future. Let's continue on this positive path together. And right now I want to give credit to a group of people that are to be given credit for making all of these things happen across every department. On the city's website, there's departmental reports that you can view to see what the departments got done every quarter of my administration. Not one single department sat idle for even 3 months. And let me tell you something, in local government, state government, and federal government, it is easy for a government organization to sit idle spending your tax dollars and do nothing for 3 months. But these hardworking, dedicated city employees have not done that one single quarter of my entire term. And I am beyond proud of these individuals. There's hype and accusations of turnover. There's very little turnover. There was some. It was necessary. It was needed. Some may say that I'm hard to work for. I expect people to work. These are your tax dollars. When they show up at work, I expect them to work. And the people that are there now love coming to work. We eat together. We don't FOIA each other. We all get along. We have fewer HR issues in the last 4 years than we had combined in the 2 years prior to. And I just want to thank you all for coming tonight.
Thank you. Mr. Henley, you're next.
I want to bring some change to the city of Bryant. We have to have positive budgets to move in a positive direction. I want to take that, you can tell by whenever I proposed a budget that would be in a positive this last year. In order to do the streets, in order to do the work that we need to do for our actual citizens, we're going to have to be able to manage that money. We're going to have to be able to come in under budget, to be able to afford to do these projects. As mayor, I want to use my experience and my education to do that. My education from UALR is a political science degree with a human resources degree. I know how to motivate employees. I know how to handle employee issues. I know how to actually, the government is supposed to run with the executive and legislative branch. I want to bring my experience and my knowledge to the city and help the citizens reap the rewards from doing so. Thanks.
Thank you. And Randy Cox.
Well, again, tonight, I want to sit here and personally thank each and every one of y'all for coming out tonight. And again, thank Shelley and Senator for your time as well. And again, I encourage everyone to vote, no matter who you're voting for. We had a lot of people who sacrificed a lot to give us that right. Some things that I want to make sure the differences are between me and the other candidates. We are all running for a job, and I feel like I've got the best qualifications for that job. I have 32 years experience managing people and budgets. I'm going to bring a common sense budget to the city. A budget that our department heads will know, and a budget that the city